why she doesn't understand that where a relationship is. I think she's in this position waiting for me to go, oh no, don't move to Parowan. I'm a little too ambivalent, to be fair.
Well, have you ever told Robyn that you don't feel married to Meri?
Yeah, of course Robyn knows where I'm at.
Do you think Robyn being there and kind of in between, the go-between in that relationship, is that kind of giving a sense of false hope?
No, I think Robyn really does try to advocate for Meri.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Thursday, November 30th, 2023. I hope every one of you is having a wonderful day. Kody Brown claims that Robyn Brown knew well ahead of time where he stood with Meri. And despite her knowing where he stood with Meri, she still pretended like on the show Meri had a chance. So again, Kody is throwing Robyn under the bus. And I just want to say this. When the going gets tough and the narcissist has no one else to blame, he will target the enabler. Yep. So Robyn will be the one to face all of his wrath now that every single one of his wives is out of the picture. And also, Robyn Brown blames literally everyone, including Christine, Meri, and Janelle, for the family falling apart, because she can't accept the fact that Kody left all of the wives for her, and she can't accept the fact that everyone's onto her, and we all know that she meddles in relationships, and also that she is the puppet master. But Kody is culpable too. Some of you people in my comments every day say that I switch sides, and I'm not switching sides. I want everyone to know I hold Kody and Robyn responsible here, period. They just have different levels of culpability and they have different roles in their culpability. But of course, they're both to blame. It's not like if I say something negative about Robyn, I'm letting Kody off the hook. That's not how it works. Different videos have different topics. I hope that helps. So let's dive into the topic. Before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and make sure to ring the bell so you never miss a video. Kody says that Meri, he doesn't understand why Meri didn't know. Well, it's probably because he was stringing her along. It's probably because he was playing good cop, bad cop, in my opinion, with Robyn, and Robyn was stringing Meri along. And it's probably because Kody is lying for the millionth time on this tell-all and claiming that everyone knew. But he wasn't having these conversations with Meri. And on top of that, he's going to claim that Meri is unsafe. Here is what Janelle said.
As Robyn, I never would have put myself in that position. If Kody can't talk to Meri alone, then they probably shouldn't be having any kind of conversations. But I know that Meri calls Robyn in. I don't know. It's kind of a big mess to me.
Do you think Kody's just kind of afraid to, in front of Robyn, say, hey, this is not working?
No, I don't think so, because he even would say it in front of me. I mean, he was very vocal with me, even that there was no hope of a relationship there.
I always love that on this show, they always say that they know nothing about each other's relationships. And then I always love that we find out that they know everything about Kody's relationships. But Kody was saying this on the show. But regardless of what he was telling other people, they can only go off of what he's telling Meri. And I think it's weird because she said, well, if Kody can't speak to Meri alone, then he probably shouldn't be speaking to her at all or something like that. And it's like Kody went out with her on their anniversary and they were alone. He went over to her house and they were alone. It's very bizarre to me, point blank, that Kody is so afraid of Meri. And I just think it's that he just doesn't want to be around her. I don't think it has anything to do with her other than that. And that maybe maybe Meri will actually hold him accountable. I don't know. But regardless of what he's telling everyone privately, we already know that on the show, everyone was lying for Kody for years. For years, everyone was putting up a lie for him, covering for him, and to a certain extent, some of them are still covering for him to a degree. And So it's just odd to me. But I mean, Janelle wouldn't put herself in the middle of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I still don't know if Kody really didn't tell Meri anything, or if it's just that it's exactly the way that Meri described it. And that he said, yeah, it's over, but let's pretend like publicly we're still together. And so then this whole conversation of the tell-all feels it feels weird for them to be talking about this, but not addressing that component. So Meri knows it's over, and then they're all pretending like Meri doesn't understand. I'm going to skip the part about where she asks Christine about the situation and why Meri would stay around for so long. Christine was actually a lot more empathetic than Kody and Janelle, and basically just said, sometimes you cling to hope, and you hope until you can't hope anymore. But then Kody says his heart is broken because he can't love Meri, but then he calls her unsafe.
I can't be in love with her. It's not safe for me. And when I say that, make up any bullshit you want, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to sit here and drive the bus over her, because this is sad. It's heartbreaking. It just didn't work.
You know what cult leaders love to do? They love to label people that don't comply with them and obey them and, keep sweet in the culture that they're in as dangerous. And I'll never forget when Kristen Decker, who is the aunt of Kody Brown, she told me that when a woman is cast out of this community, they get the bus driven over them, which Kody says he's not going to drive the bus over, and that women are labeled dangerous, wicked, evil. They tell them that you're going to have horns growing out of your head. You're going to start looking like Satan. You're going to look like the devil. You're going to be evil. They call the women horrible names, right? So here's the thing. Kody was never not safe with Meri. Kody was and always has been the one that has had the control. And the only way that he can control the narrative now is to make it seem like Meri was so unsafe and so dangerous to the family that he had to let her go. When the truth is that, yes, there have been kids that have made comments about Meri mistreating them, but let me be clear. Kody was the one that the kids actually went on record and said physically abused them. No one said that Meri actually laid a hand on them. I don't know if she did, but no one said that. And Payton was the one that started this and said, well, Mykelti had it the worst, right? And then Mykelti released a statement and said she doesn't remember Meri ever getting physical with her. She said it was only ever verbal. But you know who wasn't just verbal? Kody. Payton said he hit him in the mouth. He used a paddle. We saw Kody on the show grab Garrison and Gabriel by the ears, threaten to kill them. We've seen him stomp, yell, punch his hands, scream. Gwendolyn said that he threw her in the air, paddled her, and hit her, leaving her with bruises, okay? And Gwendolyn had nothing bad to say about Meri. When all of that stuff came out about Meri, what those kids were doing is exactly what happens when a woman leaves. Accusations start flying. And I'm not saying that she hasn't done anything. Hell, I'm sure all the sister wives have hit the kids. This is fundamentalism. It's standard in this culture. But it's Kody that was the one that was unsafe of all of them. But Kody wants everyone to believe that Meri is unsafe, but he's not going to tell you why. He's just going to let you marinate on that. So when all of that stuff was coming out, that's why I felt like Kody was basically starting that engine of, now you can go talk and smear Meri, because once a woman leaves, we smear them. So Meri's unsafe, and Christine is not loyal and a liar, and Janelle is disobedient, right? Whatever. So let's dive into the article of what Robyn had to say about how she feels this family fell apart. In an exclusive interview with People magazine, which, by the way, this isn't an interview where she's actually on camera, so it's just print. But she says this about how the family fell apart. I think it started when we were in Las Vegas, noting that the shift began when their respective adult children decided to leave the nest. So their focuses started to shift to kids that have left home to go live their life, instead of focusing on their relationship with Kody. The only one that had several adult children that left, well, Meri's child left, and yes, a few of Janelle's kids left, and a couple of Christine's kids left, but all of them, the rest of them all had kids together. So this is just her trying to rewrite history. And she doesn't want to admit that she plays a role in this, okay? She says that the other wives stopped maintaining not only their marriages to Kody, but also their commitments to each other. So it's not Robyn's fault, it's their fault. She said it started becoming a lot of focus that direction as far as holidays and things like that, which is weird because it wasn't until they got to Flagstaff that they stopped doing holidays together. And then she said that when they moved to Arizona, they were separated geographically and weren't in each other's lives as regularly. She said, that made us feel more independent of each other. It was easier just to not spend time together because it was harder to get in the car and go hang out at someone's house and then try to figure out if you get through the snow home and things like that. And so I think that was the next step. It doesn't snow all year, Robyn, and you weren't that far apart in Flagstaff. And she also says that housing arrangements played a contributing role. She said living in one home or building one home was the next step, and that brought out a lot of truths. And here's where Robyn again goes to a place where she is not responsible. She said, I think a lot of the issues that were a part of their past started to come up. It was before I came in the family. There were these issues about living together that started to come up, and they started talking about that. Have you noticed that it's never her fault in this situation? They were focusing on their older kids. They weren't doing holidays with her. And now it's that Christine didn't want to live in the big house, and all of their issues from the past were coming up. And then when COVID hit, it was a perfect storm. So she said, we weren't as united and everyone was disagreeing about how to handle it. And it became this fight and people were so independent by that point. I think it's also just kind of an age thing. What I've heard is that you get to a point where you aren't as interested or care as much, or you just become more independent as a woman in a marriage and as obsessed with or interested as much in maybe your hubby and everything. Do you like how she said, I've heard that you get to a point? This is her implying that she's younger than them. So she doesn't understand this. This is like implied ageism here. She said, I've heard them talk about it. Well, I don't know if I want this anymore, or I just want something different, or I used to be okay with this and how this was going, but now I'm not okay accepting what it's been. She never takes responsibility for anything. You know, it would be a lot easier for people, including me, to hear Robyn's point of view if within her explanation she included her role, right? No one can say that it's specifically her fault. I mean, we can, but I'm sure it's more complicated than that. But if she were to say something like this, well, I joined the family and that kind of shook things up. And then Kody was spending a lot more time with me. Kody was basically in my bedroom all day long. I was Kody's best customer. And I was speaking Kody, so I was kind of the counselor in all of their marriages. And I might have convinced some people that Meri is dangerous and super abusive. I told the kids that. They had no idea until I came into the family. Peyton even said that. Remember that? And I also let Kody know that he has never been in love with anyone until he met me. And for 7 years, I let Meri believe that Kody and her had a chance. She doesn't add any of that. I recognize that relationships are complicated, but there's two villains in this scenario, Robyn and Kody. And they're the villains because, one, everyone with eyeballs that watched the show knew that there was something going on. People could tell that the relationships were literally not really working. People felt like Kody and Robyn were in a monogamous relationship for years before they actually left, like people started leaving this. There was rumors coming out in 2016 that it was basically Kody and Robyn and the rest of the wives were like exes at that point. Christine had been talking about leaving Kody since the 3rd season. Meri brought up leaving Kody in the 1st season. Janelle has said that she left Kody 3 times during their marriage. So this idea that Robyn played no role in this it's just their fault. Oh, they just spent less time with him. Oh, they weren't focusing on Kody. They weren't obsessed with Kody. They're just older than me. Their kids are out of the house. P.S. Robyn, you have 3 kids that should be out of the house because they're out of high school. And the way that she talked about how the kids leaving the house makes me feel like she infantilizes her children, making them appear younger so that Kody still is interested in her kids and she appears that she's not an empty nester. She will do everything, come hell or high water, to not appear in any way, shape, or form like the other wives. Robyn has no role in this, you guys. It wasn't her meddling. It wasn't her being a counselor. It wasn't the fact that she was manipulating and conniving and all the things, stealing money along with Kody stealing money. That wasn't the issue. It was because they just weren't as interested in him anymore. It couldn't have been that Kody wasn't treating them very well, Robyn, or spending all of their money, or never going over to their house, or neglecting their kids, or not spending time with their kids. Couldn't have been that, Robyn, could it? No, it's because they were just getting older. Right. So what are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.